When people say made in China, they often think of cheap, low-quality products, and in many cases that's true, but it doesn't paint a full picture. One thing that surprised me when I came here is just how much the Chinese suppliers actually care about quality. If you're working with a solid factory that communicates transparently and you go into details of materials, tolerances, how things should actually be done during production, they're often very transparent and open with you about how they're going to do it. That being said, the level of incompetency here can be pretty high across the board. You know, your average engineer in China is not going to be as highly trained as someone back in the West. People can misunderstand instructions, cut corners, or do things that just don't seem to make sense if you're actually watching them. It doesn't mean they necessarily don't care. I mean, some people definitely don't care. It just means to get the best results, you have to monitor them really closely, explain things really clearly, and never assume something that you think is obvious is going to be obvious to them. People generally, they want to do the things that you ask, but you just have to be very specific about how and why things should be done when it comes to making something in a factory. I'm going to give you an example now. Last year we were developing a new backpack and we thought we had the most amazing factory for it. They were super transparent and they'd actually gone ahead and made some really great samples for us, which we tested that could easily hold 20 kgs, 30 kgs in weight. And then when it came to production, they were super honest with us and they told us, we're going to have to subcontract this work to a local factory. We weren't 100% happy, but it was just a case of, we weren't ordering the quantities required to make it at their main factory. So they went ahead and did it. And then after production, the backpack actually failed the 20 kg test. The handle, it just came to part. And what happened in the end? The main factory admitted their mistake and they refunded us entirely for that production, for which, of course, we're happy. But this is kind of the stories that, you don't hear this kind of stuff online. They didn't argue, they didn't ghost us, they didn't make excuses. They were completely honest about, and open about what happened. This is the kind of things that happen if you do have a good supplier that's thinking long term and communicates really well with you. It's actually kind of normal here. But I will say, if you do meet a supplier that communicates well and does actually care about the quality of your product, you want to hold on to them because, you're actually onto some absolute gold. These kind of relationships are rare, but they do exist, and they're the best foundation for building a good long-term brand. China isn't necessarily a problem. The problem is people just don't know how to filter through the noise and select the right partner. I mean, for example, if we'd select the wrong partner on our backpack last year, then, we don't know what we'd be doing right now. We would have lost a bunch of money in that project. Maybe we'd be dead. Instead, we had the right partner, they fixed the problem, and now we're selling. And actually, in a few months, we think we're going to get the second order for that. So it's, happy days. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. If you want to watch any more of my videos, please click the link here. I'm actually building brands and giving them away so people can start off their own e-commerce projects nowadays, which hopefully we're going to get some of them started. But anyway, thanks for watching. Happy New Year. Goodbye.